Hey, it's Sri here, and in today's video I'm going to talk you through what you need to do if your husband has left you for another woman. Now before we dive in, I just want to let you know that if you are going through this, if your husband has recently left you, my heart honestly just goes out to you so much because of the pain that you're having to go through. It's just devastating, it really is. There's no other way to describe it because you've put all this time and energy into this man and suddenly he decides that he wants to leave you for another woman. It's just a horrible feeling. And so if you are going through this, then obviously my heart goes out to you, but I also want you to know that you're not alone. Not just in terms of knowing that I'm here to serve you, but also that there's so many women out there who are going through really, really difficult times in their marriage like you are. And so if you are in that position, then as I said, you're not alone, but I also want you to know that I am here to serve you for your highest good. So if you are needing some support and some guidance on this journey and you're really unsure about what you need to do to move forward, then what I'd encourage you to do is in the description section below, just click on that link which says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at the scheduled time just to see if I can help you on this journey and give you at least a couple of steps that you need to take in order to be able to move forward on this path. And make sure you hit that subscribe button below and click on that bell notification every week so that you receive access to my latest videos teaching you specifics about how to recover from infidelity, how to be able to save your marriage, and how to really heal yourself during these really difficult times in your marriage. Now, if your husband has left you for another woman, there are lots of different reasons why that sometimes can happen. Now, yes, there are your examples of individuals, your narcissists, your sociopaths, and so on, who just go around and cheat willy-nilly. And, those people will continue to exist from time to time. But on the assumption that your husband's a good man here, we need to recognize that there's often some reasons that are very, very common right across the board. And the one that I see the most is that he has got to a place in the marriage where he doesn't feel like his needs are being met. He doesn't feel happy in the marriage at all. He feels like there's something that's just missing from it and that you're not capable of being able to fill up his requests and his needs in the marriage. And so what often happens is, as a result of having that mindset, he thinks that going with this other person is going to somehow make him all the more happier, and he's going to feel free and everything's going to be wonderful and all of that sort of stuff. Now, what's really important to understand here is, firstly, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. In fact, it very rarely is. I see lots of people engage in this sort of behavior, and then down the line, they're like, why did I do this? What was I thinking? That was so stupid of me, and so on. Because they recognize that there are other challenges that come about when you end up going with someone else into a totally different environment. And the second point to note is that even when he does those things, he's going to be questioning why he's actually doing it as well. And the reason he's going to question it is because when a man gets involved with another woman in that scenario, what will happen is that he'll go into that relationship and there'll just be challenges, because there is a challenge in every single marriage or relationship. It's just the nature of the beast. There are always going to be things that come up. There are always going to be challenges that come about as a result of being with someone for an extended period of time. I mean, just think about it for a second. When you go on, a vacation with some friends, before you go on the vacation, you think, wow, it's going to be so much fun and we're going to have a great time. Then you go with your friends sometimes, and then what will happen is when you're, staying in a hotel room or you're staying in an Airbnb, you start to see little things that challenge you with that particular person, whether they're too talkative or whether they're not very clean around the Airbnb or whatever it may be. So things start to trigger you. And those are just some simple examples. But if you think about a man getting involved with another woman and then suddenly being exposed to a whole different world, there's going to be other challenges. That I can promise you. And that's why we've got to recognize. And I honestly find that relationships that are built on these sorts of scenarios where the man has actually left his wife for another woman, I generally find that they don't work out in the long run. Now, sometimes they do. Yes, there are exceptions, of course. But on the whole, I find that they end up becoming a flop because the man recognizes that he thought it was actually going to be a certain way, but it didn't quite match up to his expectations. And hence, because of these points, I really wanted to shoot this video to explain to you 3 really important steps that you need to be taking if your husband has left you for another woman. Now, the first step is you need to make sure you stay in hope. You see, in these moments, you are basically going to be at a place where, you've put a lot of time and energy into your marriage and you don't want to lose it. But when he goes off with another person, it's very easy to lose that hope. It's very easy to think, game over, finished, he's with this other woman, and I just need to somehow do the healing work, find myself, get myself to a place of acceptance, and just move on. But I actually really encourage you to stay in hope. Now, I know some people might watch this and feel a little bit triggered by me saying that, because why the hell would I want to be with someone who has gone off and actually cheated? And that's an absolutely fair enough point. But not every single person who is on the receiving end of infidelity will want to end it with their husband, because they've put so much time and energy into their marriage. Some people will genuinely want to, and it's not a bad thing. They need to make sure that they approach it in the right way and they make the best decisions. But if that's something that they genuinely want to do, I think it's really important to honor that and to allow yourself to live in a level of hope. Because having worked with hundreds and hundreds of women in the past whose marriages have been extremely destructive, or where there's been infidelity, I've seen miracles happen. I've seen transformation happen. But it all came from one thing to start with, and that was hope. They had this belief that, I genuinely want to be with my husband. Yes, I don't agree with any of the infidelity or anything like that, but they have this desire to want to save the marriage. They have this desire they believe in it. They believe in the fact that they were amazing for a period of time. Some things have happened over the last 1 or 2 years that have forced the couple to drift, but they believe that there is a possibility. And I'm telling you now, and even in the last 6 weeks, I've had about 5 to 6 women who have contacted me who are clients of mine, telling me that their husbands have come back after they've left them or they've engaged in some form of infidelity. So transformation is real. It absolutely can happen. But I really believe, to start with, you've got to have hope. And that's the first point I wanted to raise. Now, the second step that I want you to take is to honor your truth. Now, if you want to save your marriage, if you genuinely believe that your marriage is worth saving and you want to put the work and put the effort in, then you need to make sure you do the necessary internal and external healing. And I honor you for that. I think it's fantastic. Good on you for wanting to do that. So you have to honor your truth if that's what you genuinely want to do. But equally, if your husband has gone off and done a number of these things, or he's gone on and cheated on you heaps of times, or has just treated you poorly, or whatever his behaviors are, if your truth inside is, I don't even want to deal with him anymore, he's a complete scumbag, he's a loser, whatever words you want to use, and you want to get out of the marriage, that's absolutely cool as well. That's totally fine. You have to honor your truth. And if your truth is saying, look, I need to walk away, that's absolutely fine. But one thing I wanted to raise, one point that's really important here, is that if you are going to walk away, I want to make sure that you're doing the necessary internal healing as well. The reason why this is important is that if you're just holding on to that anger, you're holding on to that resentment, that bitterness, and so on, you may walk away from the marriage and you'll find lots of people will support you in that decision. But what will happen is that anger, that negativity inside will take over. It'll leave you cynical, it'll leave you bitter, and it's going to affect a lot of areas of your life. Not only that, but because, when we're living in anger, when we're living in hurt, when we're living in rejection and all those negative emotions, it has such an impact on us, not only mentally and emotionally, but also physically. I mean, how uncomfortable does it feel when we're in a really negative place? Our physical body literally starts to get into a place of almost contraction, and we're just in pain, and we start to create dis-ease in our lives as well. So it's very important that no matter which path you go down, whether that's staying or leaving, that you absolutely do the internal healing. And another reason why you've got to do your own internal healing is that if your husband's left and you want to leave him and so on, which is totally fine once again, if you don't do your own internal healing, when you go into another relationship in the future, you'll only create more of that. You'll only bring up more of that anger and that negativity, because that's your past experiences. And a lot of the times when we have this negative past, we project that into our future, and that impacts our lives. I don't want that for you. If you're going to leave your marriage, I want to make sure that if you choose to be with someone in the future, that you create something extraordinary. That's my hope for you. So please make sure that you continue to do the necessary healing internally, because I promise you in the long run, you will absolutely be rewarded in spades for it. And finally, I want you to make sure you play the long game. If you're wanting to save your marriage, or even if you're wanting to walk away, the process of healing, the process of transformation, it takes time. You know, sometimes I have clients whose marriages have transformed in 12 months, 14 months. Sometimes they shift in a month. Sometimes their own healing shifts after 6 to 8 months, or 10 months, or 12 months. Whatever it is, it takes time. I still maintain, and I've talked about this in other videos in the past, I've been working on this personal development stuff for my own self for 20 years, and I still have things that I need to work on. So it never stops, it never ends. And you've got to play the long game. Now, some people might say, well, how long's the long game? Well, to be perfectly honest, as I said, it changes from person to person. So you don't want to get caught up in the timing of it. You don't want to get caught up in the duration of it. You want to be more focused on saying, I'm actually not trying to change things right now. I'm going to stay patient. I'm going to focus on putting my energy in the moment and trusting that the right outcome is going to occur for the highest good of all concerned. And if you take that approach and you apply that level of what we call detachment, then the right outcome will occur for you, and you're going to find a level of peace and happiness and joy that you've never experienced before. And if that means that it's with your husband, if he's left you and he comes back, or if it means that you walk away from the marriage, that's also okay as well. No matter what, you're going to be at peace. Now, I know sometimes it feels really overwhelming to do the work and put the time and energy into your marriage or into yourself, because, let's face it, you're in a hugely emotional state. And, it's the reason why I've created my program, The Authentic Relationship System, to be able to give you the tools and the strategies in a step-by-step process that walks you through how to create the shifts in your marriage, how to heal from within, how to learn more about male psychology, and how to go deep into the communication piece of marriages as well. It's a really amazing program. You'll absolutely love it. I only take on a certain number of people every single month as well, because I want to make sure that the people I work with are a perfect fit and they're going to get the results they're looking for. So if you're in a place where you connect with some of my material and you really want to try and work out the next steps for how to create healing in your marriage and how to create healing within yourself, then I'd love to be of service to you. So what I'd encourage you to do is just in the description section below, just click on that link where it just says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and I'll contact you at the scheduled time just to see if I can help you and if this program is a good fit for you as well. And if you're not ready to hop on a call with me, what I encourage you to do is just check out my free masterclass training as well. Just below in the description, you'll see a link which says register for the masterclass. If you click on that link, you can choose a time and you can jump on that masterclass training, and I talk you through the 3 steps that my client Sarah used to be able to save her marriage in less than 60 days. You'll absolutely love it. So make sure you check that out if you have the time. You can learn some really important steps and strategies to create the changes that you want in your marriage and in your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And do let me know what your biggest takeaway is from this video as well. I always love hearing the comments, so just make sure you write them below and I'll respond to every single one of them. If you want to learn why men give off mixed messages, click this video above. And if you want to learn how to recover from infidelity, click this video above. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video.